So my work day is done, another work day complete. Right, Ollie? And I'm out here with my dogs. We're Rudy and Ollie. Ollie in the foreground, Rudy in the background. Say hi, Ollie. Ollie, can you say hi? That's Ollie. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit you. Sorry, and this is Rudy. Yeah, come here, little guy. Anyway, let's move this up just a little bit. There we go. I hope all is well today. It was a good day of work. I was able to get a lot done for my projects, keeping them moving forward. Yeah, you don't like him getting too close, huh? Typically it's my routine to take the dogs for a nice long walk after work. Why do I still have these in my ear? I don't need those. I was listening to a review of the debate last night podcast. What an interesting debate. I wonder if we'll have another one. Hopefully it won't be quite so bad. Well, anyway, so it's my habit to take the dogs for a nice long walk in the afternoon, in the evening actually. And right now we're in front of the Mazda, I think this is the North American headquarters for Mazda. And they have the Mazda reception right down there. They got a couple of cars down there, and then somewhere up there, the headquarters. They've also got some other things in there like WeWork and the like. And right across the street, we're right across the street from the entrance to the Irvine Spectrum. That's the Improv right there, this building right here. All kinds of comedy greats come there, or used to at least. Sometimes I park the dogs and I will sit on that grass over there for that big building, and then there's another big building over there. So this is kind of like the skyscraper part of Irvine. And I live right around the corner. Anyway, you happy, little Rudy? Last night's video was a lot of fun. It was interesting to share so many things. I was amazed at how so much time had passed, and we had discussed so much. So something happened that was interesting. Yeah, Lee, it is a nice, convenient, small park. I'm going to tell you about something that happened today that revealed to me my character when I left Japan. Now, if it seems like a lot of these videos revolve around talking about Japan, I guess that's topical, because it's kind of maybe time. I never realized just how focused I was on not Japan until now, and especially something happened this morning that was quite revealing. I've been spending more time on the YouTube platform in order to respond to people's comments. So when I have a free moment, I usually answer the comments on my phone, but if I have a free moment, I'll answer them from the computer at home. And I kind of noticed something that I had never seen before, which was there was a what is it called? A copyright section. You know, there's the comment section, the videos, playlists, comments, monetization, and then there was like a copyright section. And I opened it up. It was the first time I opened it up just recently, and I was amazed at all. I should have listed all the people that have grabbed my content over the years, and that they had. And I was amazed. You could actually, even years later, you could find somebody that had grabbed the Mad Mike rocket video, right? Wholesale, the whole 1 minute and 9 seconds, and just upload it to their channel. I could see that they had done that, and you had a couple of options. One, you could click on them, and YouTube would send them a 7-day notice to, cease and desist, take it down. And I've done that now 3 times. Just slowly getting used to the function, and it really works. I don't care so much that people use my stuff, but if it's somebody just grabbing, like the fair use thing, I don't mind that. But if it's just a wholesale grabbing the whole video to get the views, that's not right? So I will send the aforementioned cease and desist to them, and it seems to work because YouTube gives them a copyright strike otherwise. Anyway, you agree, yeah, Lee. So anyway, I saw something interesting that I kind of took me by surprise. It was one video that had it says like some percentage of the video was one of my videos, and I recognized right away who it was. It was Victor. Well, in this case, it was Give Me a Flake Man. So it was his channel, ACMR. Is that AMR? ACMR? can't remember how to say it, the audio, the channel. It used to be Give Me a Flake Man, but he changed it to ACMR Japan or whatever it's called. Anyway, kudos to you, Gudo. Gudo. Who the hell is Gudo? Kudos to you, Victor, for doing so well with that channel. And by the way, yeah, I don't care. Victor can take anything he wants, right? But it was interesting to see it was a video about 6 years ago, it must be almost 7 years ago, and he had used some percentage, and the dogs might go crazy. I see a dog coming. He sees him too. And he had used some percentage of, I didn't even look at it, right? I just, I don't care. And there's a button there you can say, I don't care, and off you go. But I was curious about what it was. So I clicked on the video to open it up, and before I got a chance to see it, I noticed, there they go. Holly, settle down. Settle down. Yeah, this is their excitement. It's okay. It's okay. You're not so sure, huh? Ollie, be cool. Be cool. Oh, yeah. They like to tell the world what's what. This one wants to play with the other dogs. That one, not quite sure. So, and I am looking for a trainer here in Irvine. I've reached out to 2 different trainers so far, and haven't found one that I really wanted to engage with yet, but I'm working on it. I want to help, namely this one, because he's got some behavior issues, some fear issues. So, I noticed when I opened Victor's video, and I realized immediately what the video was. I don't know if you remember, but when I left Japan, I had a whole bunch of piles of antiques, and stuff, and I made a video saying, come get the stuff. Anybody that wants it, come get it. And I just didn't, the one thing I didn't want to do was I didn't want to ship it to anybody, right? Because I had spent 5 or 6 years shipping all kinds of crap to thousands and thousands of shipments. And I was trying to get my life out of Japan. I was trying to get over here to start a new life. My mind was full with the new life. The last thing I wanted to do, and I dismantled my shipping apparatus, the last thing I wanted to do was ship anything to anybody. So it was really clear. And unfortunately, I had a kind of a sour incident with Olden Youth. I feel bad for that. I should have just shipped the stuff to him. But now that I look back at my comment on Victor's video, it brought me back to that mindset. Victor had made a video. He had driven up in his little black van from Nagoya to Shizuoka, where I lived, and came to my place, and I loaded all kinds of stuff into his van, and he went away just filled to the brim. I'm sure his wife was quite upset when he came showing up. And for the longest time, Victor's always had a lot of stuff in his man cave there, but for the longest time, I would see my old stuff, here and there in his room. I think he's still got some in there. I still see things that I kind of recognize. You may remember, if you've watched Victor's video, there was a giant white face mask. That's an Okame mask. Gigantic. Huge. Hey, Jaden. Yeah. I just responded to a comment you just a little while ago saying, I hope you can make it. It's good to see you. I don't know if you remember, but Victor had in his background, he would be sitting there doing his, soliloquy, and in the background, he would have this giant white mask with the black hair. That was one of the cherished items that I had picked up. It was a Meiji period, which is, if I can remember right, 1868 to 1912 or something like that. Meiji period paper mache mask. And I bought it from an antique dealer who made me promise he wouldn't sell it to me unless I promised that I loved Japan. And of course I said yes, and I got that mask. And I saw Victor had it in his room for a long time. Caught you live. Do you litter in Aichi Prefecture? I don't know. I don't know if I've even been to Aichi Prefecture. And I certainly wouldn't litter knowingly if I got there. So anyway, the thing was, Victor had come up with a clever idea that he was going to bundle up, pack, put it in kind of like a gift bag. What do you call it? Fukumachi. What's it called in Japan at the New Year's? Do you remember what it's called? The luck bags that you can get at the stores. You can go into like a department store and for like 1,000 yen or 3,000 or 5,000 yen, you can get a bag full of stuff, and it's usually a great value. Japanese people love to do that. Luck bag, something. Anyway, Victor had come up with an idea to do that using all the stuff that I gave him. That story you told last night was funny when you gave those 2 Japanese boys a talking for sneaking off with Emily. I can't picture you being stern or mad. I did my best. I kind of felt bad about it to them afterwards. They were just being young boys. with my young girl. So maybe I should have been sterner still. What do you think? Anyway, so Victor was doing that, and he in the video, I think he used a bit of my video to just show stuff, but in the video he was talking about making these bags. And I noticed that the second comment down was a comment from me, and it was about a paragraph long. And I read it, and it brought me back like a time machine to late 2013, early 2014, just before I left Japan. And I was so ready to go. I don't think I ever really, just how restless I was to leave Japan, I don't think it ever really came through in my videos, but it sure did come through in that comment. And I wish I could, I can't read it because there's my phone, I can't read it, but it basically said, I chimed in. It's like, Victor's got his thing, he's got his stuff, he comes up with his idea, he's gonna give out the bags, you just send the stuff, he's being Victor, right? And here I come charging in with a comment. And it said, I'm gonna paraphrase basically, I basically said, this whole scheme, I mean that in the nicest sense, this whole idea is Victor's. I had nothing to do with this idea, because I knew people would recognize the stuff came from me, because I think Victor mentioned it. I had nothing to do with this idea. Whatever you get from Victor, he picked it all himself. I had nothing to do with picking any of these things out. If you have any comments, contact him, don't contact me. And I was really taken aback by how the tone in my comment. And I remember now, like when Olden Youth wanted me to send him stuff, which he used to send me stuff. I mean, I should have sent him something, right? I think he wanted a Jizo doll, a Jizo statue or something. And I was so determined. It was like a line in the sand. I will not send anything to anybody. And I'm like that. I get, especially in the past, not so much anymore. I like to think I don't care so much anymore. It's not that important to me. But I had that line in the sand. And I wonder what Victor must have thought when he saw that comment coming from me. He probably just brushed it off like he does, like he's able to do. He's got a level of maturity that I admire in that capacity to be able to. It would be interesting to see Victor at the presidential debate. Can you imagine? I imagine he would be. Could you just see if it was President Trump against Victor, give me a break, man, for the presidential debate, and the president's going on. Victor would be just sitting over there going, "What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Calm down. Do something about that guy." There was a comment here. Don't you see? Don't you think that what Victor would do? Hey, do you remember that skit you did with Ed Tomorrow ages ago? I did a skit with Ed. I thought. Oh, wasn't that with? I remember Ed Mully would do things with people, skits. I don't remember that skit. Maybe, sort of, vaguely. Were we doing something where we were trying to tease Mully or something? Wasn't it in the Bronx Cheer down in that little bar? Is that where we did it? It kind of seems to come back to me. Well, anyway, coming back to the Wayback Machine, you had a little video where Ed Tomorrow approached you trying to find American food. Seriously, I don't remember that. Something tells me, though, that happened at the Bronx Cheer restaurant where we used to go for American burgers. So, but anyway, that comment, when I read that comment, it all came back to me. It all came back. The experience of being at my wit's end in Japan, ready to go. And made me realize that it's really good that I went, right? I mean, if I had stayed any longer, that would have been way too long. If I was still there now, I needed a new life. So that's good. I did. So that's really all I wanted to share, was that. And Victor, I'm sorry if I spoiled your videos, the comment stream with my immaturity. Let's read an objective. I think this is objective number 4. And you were by a tree talking about an onigiri. Haha, poor Victor. Yeah, a tree talking about an onigiri. That sounds like a poem. There was a young girl by a tree who talked about an onigiri. She said, "I admit I'm a bit of a..." I don't know. Also, I'd love to get a copy of that book. Are you able to ship to Canada? Sure, I ship anywhere in the world. I was actually surprised when you left Japan. I always thought you did that for Emily. Well, I'm good at making excuses. I think I did it for Emily. I think I did it. I think I did it for Emily. I'd like to tell myself that I did it for Emily. I think I did it. To be honest, though, I think both Yumiko and I did it for all of us, right? For probably the same reason we went to Japan in the first place, right? We just get fed up. We Enough of a life. It's time for a new life, right? So here we go. The next one is number 4. To cultivate good emotional reactions. Oh yeah, and if you want a copy, just send me an email, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com. And, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Just give me your address and I'll send you a copy. I'll know I'm a bit behind. I've got a backlog of people to send to, and I'm waiting for the newer copies. Emily keeps making new drawings, and I keep adding them to the book, and I want to give people the latest copy with the drawings, so I get it all ready to go, and then Emily makes another drawing. You see how that goes? So I've got this big backlog. So just send me an email. I'm happy to send you a copy. Cultivate good emotional reactions. And remember, these are the objectives and principles that I recite to myself every morning as the very first thing I do when I start my day. I will take control of my emotions such that these inform my living less than control it. Feelings and reactions will then become life counselors rather than rulers and chiefs. Through this effort, I will create and reflect a life of equanimity through inward control and a resulting outward peace. So that's been a big something I've worked on very hard since coming to Japan, back to America especially, is to be able to forecast when my emotional state may be headed south, when I have a kind of an emotional barometer, feeling the pressure, the emotional pressure of the atmosphere around me, and storm's on its way, there's an old ache in the bones. And to be able to fortify myself and prepare myself to weather the storm, mainly through, I can have as much internal turmoil as possible, but I do not want others to suffer my inability to control my emotional reactions. I'll confess, I've had in the past, I've been less than perfect at being able to control my inner emotions. I kind of let them out. But I'm never violent or anything like that. But people around me, namely my wife and daughter, would know that I'm upset, and I would make it clear. I would make it more clear when I was young. I'm really glad that I became a father in my 30s rather than in my 20s. I would have been a crappy father. But I've pretty much got that under control now. And even though I do have my moments, it's rare that anybody knows that I'm having a moment anymore. What a clever poem. You seem very intelligent. Vocabulary is so extensive. Oh, thank you. Jaden, I have a trick for the vocabulary, I'll tell you. Haikujin says, the wise man will be more deeply moved by feelings than others, but this will not prove to be an obstacle to wisdom. Epicurus, nice. Jaden, whenever I listen to your Stoic poetry videos, I always pay attention to how you word things. Hello there. Hey, Wamberto. Wamberto, I think I almost remember your name. Is it, remind me again, it's not Ron. You told me last time. Forgot, sorry. So about the vocabulary thing, I've got a trick for that. I know how I picked up my vocabulary. It's because it's the same thing that, I wonder if I've got, I don't have the photo in here. It's the same thing, the moment that when I was a teenager, that an English school teacher, I was a sophomore, handed me a copy of Walden and said, read this, which is what kicked off my whole life of adventure and resulted in going alone. That moment when she gave me that book, which was written in like 1840, it was written in 19th century American prose, which is rife with, resplendent with eloquent and beautiful and sagacious, what would you say, vocabulary. I didn't understand practically a single sentence in the book, but I knew, it's Tom, I knew it because I mistook you for the Tom Wash. Tom Wash was my YouTube name. Tom, you're not the diver. Are you the tree surgeon? You're not a diver, right? Tree surgeon, right? I'm getting things mixed up. Forgive me, it takes me a while. Also, another question: do you have to let me before I go on to this Jaden's other question? Let me answer that. So what I did was, when I was trying to read Walden, I went and bought myself a dictionary. Remember, this is before the era of the internet. Yeah, tree surgeon. That's right. And Tom the tree surgeon. And there was a young man named Tom who cared for trees with aplomb. He said, I admit, I'll leave it at that. So the thing was, I got a big red Webster's dictionary, and I carried that around with me while I was reading Walden. And I made it a point, whenever I ran across a piece of vocabulary I didn't know, I looked it up, would highlight it with a yellow highlighter that I'd learned that word. And you know what? They stuck. So the trick, I think, is when you're still young and when your mind is still a fertile ground for new words, introduce it to as many new words as possible, and they have a way of sticking. The trick is to know how to use them in such a way that you don't sound pretentious, right? And use them with eloquence. Also, another question, and I'm striving to try to do that. Do you have to go back to your other channels and watch your? Do you have to go back to your other channels and watch your older videos like YouTube, Bullet Train, Lyle's Brother? Not really. I don't really watch any of my old videos unless something, because YouTube has a way of throwing up my own stuff at me. I think it's because it doesn't know that it's me. Those other channels, it'll like throw YouTube Bullet Train videos or Lyle's Brother or of the band in Japan, and I'll go, hey, I know that guy. But I rarely ever watch anything. I've got too much attention ahead of me than to dwell on the behind. Now that is a tip I'm going to use for studying. Good for you, Jaden. It really helps. Technology might be able to help you as well. Anyway, I probably should go. I read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance and learned so many new words. That's also a very good book. Yeah, lots of good vocabulary in there. I also highly recommend, if you guys haven't read it already, anything by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Oh my gosh, just the House of Seven Gables is one of my favorite. Of course, The Scarlet Letter. You probably read that in high school, if you're an American. Do you see much wildlife when you're out in the desert, Kurt? Very rarely. No, almost never. Lizards. I don't think I've ever seen a snake, actually. I've seen lots of snake trails. Lizards and birds, and about that. Great American author, yeah. Okay, awesome. It was fun hanging out and talking as usual, Kurt. I'm definitely be by your lives on a regular basis. I'm off to go enjoy my hot wings and pizza. You go do that, Jaden. I'm glad you were able to stop by and catch. And Tom, it was good to talk to you, Lee, John, and all the rest. Wumberto, that is Tom. I'm going to sign off for now. Continue to take my little dogs for a walk. Let's see how they're doing. Ollie, Rudy. What's got your? Oh, yeah, I see. They've got a doggy to see. TTFN, Kurt. Have a great day. You too. Take care, everybody. Remember, be safe, but not too safe. Talk to you later.